Kentucky. Okay, so I just crossed the border. I was in Cincinnati and I just crossed the border, came across the bridge, and now I'm in Kentucky. I am on my way to go meet up with some friends I absolutely cannot wait to see. I haven't seen them in 4 years. I actually met them at a gas station and they took me home with them. I was actually riding my bicycle across Kentucky when I met them. And yeah, they just had good vibes, so I went with them. And they live on a farm, and it was my first time like being a part of like a farm world. So I just had such an amazing time meeting them and visiting with them that I can't wait to see them. So I'm headed out to their place right now, and I should be there probably just after sunset, I would think. So I'm so excited to see them. The only thing I wish I freshly had a shower, because I feel like when they met me, I was dirty. And here I am 4 years later coming by in a van this time instead of a bicycle, and I'm still dirty. But, you know, that's road life for you. I will say, a lot of people may be horrified with the fact that I said I met them at a gas station and went home with them. I'm pretty sure the first couple or two that I did that with, my whole family was horrified that I went home with people. But it's kind of like being on the road, where you just you kind of just need to listen to your instincts, and you need to make an educated decision on when something's a good idea and when something's a bad idea. And you need to listen to your spidey sense. And if the hairs on the back of your neck are saying, don't go home with these people, then you don't go home with them. And if the hairs on the back of your neck are not saying that, and your heart is saying, there's something about these people, I need to like get to know these people, then you listen to it. It's kind of like the same thing with being in a van on the road and camping in free campsites and out in public lands. If you get bad vibes about something, leave. Like, I don't know why people stick around. If you get bad vibes, listen to it, move on. And likewise for the opposite, you get good vibes, stay somewhere. So anyways, and look at this, like 4 years later, actually not even almost, every single person, and I only went with couples, but every single couple that I stayed with along my bicycle tour, that I randomly met and stayed at their house, I would absolutely positively love to see them. So there's something to be said for that. And should I do more of the route that I took on my bicycle, I might meet up with some more of the people, because they were just phenomenal people. And you know how you can kind of tell sometimes you should stay with people or not, because if they kind of almost look just as horrified that they've invited you to their house as you are at the thought of going to a stranger's house, that you know that they're probably okay, because they're just as worried about you as you are about them. And both sides are just taking a leap of faith. And every now and then, you just have to take a leap. Here we go. Their cute little barn. I love their little... Yay! There she is. So I just came in for the night. I'm about to go to bed. I'm exhausted, but I had such a good evening. I can't wait tomorrow to hang out with them a little bit longer. That's 2 happy dogs. You guys have a rough life on the farm. And just like that, I'm back on the road. It's always so sad saying goodbye to people. It's awful. Okay, this little downhill stretch right here, I distinctively remember doing this stretch on my bicycle because it was so fun heading from their place down this hill once I left in the morning. Oh my gosh, on a bicycle. It was, because it's like mileage and all downhill. Just doing a little detour here to take a trip down memory lane. So when I met them, it was actually super crazy, just chance that our paths, well, I guess depending on what you believe, it was chance or not chance that our paths crossed. Literally just riding around these streets to kill time, waiting for this pedestrian ferry so that I could cross the river. And so I came down this neighborhood and I was just cruising around, just seeing the sights, which I often did in places where I had to kill some time. May as well just kind of check out the town. And then I thought to myself, okay, well, maybe I'll find somewhere and just have like a cold drink or yogurt or chocolate milk or something. So I drove around. I guess I should say I rode around. Came down this street and there's that cemetery up on the hillside. Can you see that? So then I cruised down this street and I was still looking for somewhere to just chill. I think it was about an hour for the ferry, like I had just missed a ferry. And so as I was riding my bike down this street, I caught wind of that Bolero down there on the left. And right here, I believe in this slot over here, they were parked with their truck getting gas. And somewhere down there, I had my bike pulled up and I was sitting on the curb or the steps or something when they saw me. And I'd have to double check my blog, but I think I had like a root beer or yogurt or something that I was just kind of sitting there sipping on, waiting for to do a little more riding and then catch the ferry across the Ohio River. And Sheila comes over to me and is like, "What are you doing?" So I tell her what I'm doing, and that's when she said, "You should just come back with us, spend the night at our place." Because I was planning on catching the ferry across the river, and then I was going to ride my bicycle another, I don't know, 15, 20 miles to get to where there was a campground and spend the night in the campground. At any rate, she assured me the ride from their place in the morning would be all downhill to get back here. So I would end up just exactly back down where they picked me up. So on a leap of faith, I threw my bicycle in the back of their truck and we went back to their farm. So that is the ferry sitting on the other side on the other dock there. But that ferry just goes back and forth from that side of the Ohio River right to this side. So it's not, as you can tell, it's not actually that far. But it takes cars and pedestrians. So last time I was here, I hopped on the ferry with my bicycle, took it across to that side. That little thing pivots around, so I don't know what it's called, but the driving part of that ferry pivots from one side to the other, so it swings around depending on which direction the ferry is crossing the river. Such amazing history around here. When it turns around, that where the captain is will swing around to the other side. It's kind of neat. There it goes docking. It just swings right up onto that dock, that incline. And then driver's in there, nothing's secured, so they can just drive right off. So the car will just drive right off. just like that. See? And you just drive right down that ramp and onto the ferry. Pretty neat. I got out for a second. It's just unfortunate it's so rainy. I wanted to like get out and walk around and go reminisce on foot. But it's a little too rainy for that to be enjoyable. Nevertheless, it's a trip down memory lane to be here because it's been 4 years, but certain parts of my ride around here are like so ingrained in my brain that it really only feels like it's been a year or two. Parts of my bicycle tour are all just a blur, but like this town and the people I met and the ferry ride and all of that, it's actually pretty fresh in my mind. So it's kind of cool to see it, and hard to believe it's been 4 years. So I'm on my way out to the Daniel Boone National Forest. Check out those clouds after the storm. Look at that sky. That's the after storm sky right there. Whoa, these clouds are awesome. Red River Gorge. Whoop whoop.